Take control of your mind the way you do your breathing. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Feeling the power of you controlling your own breathing. The same way you control your mind. One breath at a time, one thought at a time. Good air and thoughts in, bad air and bad thoughts out. Now, let's see our vision today. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all the exercises and stretches we do here together today, right now. Go into the future right now. See in your mind, your mind's eye. See yourself doing the best you can on whatever exercise we do together. See it so clearly that it feels real. When that music shuts off, if you've already seen it in your mind and you believe that you can make it happen, you're going to make it real. You're going to win.
Get ready for your Fit 711 home workout powered by Fit 711. Let's get started in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Good morning, guys. Today, Maya Angelou reminds us of one of our greatest powers, and it's something we can always do anywhere we are, and it is the power to lift people up. So let's try this today. Let's look at our day as it begins. Let's think ahead and envision the people that we may interact with today in our normal course of things. And let's try to really apply the strategy of lifting people up. How do we do this? One thing we have to remember is that our words are so powerful. As Maya Angelou reminds us, all you have to do is show courtesy in your speech. When you talk to someone in a way that is respectful, courteous, and shows belief in them and their true greatness, that's what they start to believe, and that's what enriches you as being that. So the way we want to be treated is the way we should treat others. Let's try that today. Have a great day, everyone.
Here's how to do great network in the room. So let's put you in the room, right? You've been invited to an event where, a lot of the movers and shakers are there, or people who could be in your group or your downline, or could become clients or are peers who you really respect. What's the best way to start that first conversation? My first piece of advice for you in networking is to always use the context to your advantage. Use the context. What does that mean? It means the opening line and the opening conversations to you that are 100% available all of the time is getting the other person talking about where they're at, right? If you're all at a particular type of networking event in a particular kind of building, well, obviously you can talk about that area of town. You can talk about that building. If you're there at a symphony, you get to talk about the symphony, right? The context itself gives you so much conversation points. But what I want to do is actually give you my super secret, super famous line that will do it for you. That is so powerful. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to say to them, okay, are you ready for this? I want you to say to them, let's say you're at I'm just gonna use an example. You're at a fundraiser. You're at a fundraiser, there's a lot of people there, and at this fundraiser, you have the ability to meet some people. That first person you walk at the fundraiser, what do you say? I know we have a lot of really successful people here watching this, so type down below, in the comments down below, please, what would you say to the person? You're at a fundraiser, you meet somebody. What would you say to them? First line out of your mouth. First line out of your mouth. What would you say to them? What do you think about it? Would you go to them and give them your elevator pitch? Probably not. You don't know anything about them. You can introduce yourself, introduce your name. That's helpful. But do you introduce your name and then tell them what you do? However, the chit chat happens, and chit chat is usually contextual, right? That's why I say use the context. Chit chat can be, oh, this fundraiser is really amazing. You're at a fundraiser. This fundraisers are really amazing. How did you hear about it? Here we are, a whole group of people together. It's the easiest first thing. Hey, here we are at the symphony. How'd you hear about it? Hey, here we are at this networking event for multi-level marketing. Hey, here we are at this multi-network marketing thing. How'd you hear about this company? How did you hear about it is the easiest entry. Oh, this person introduced me, or I heard about it this way. My friend, starting with that's why I say use the context. Ask, how did you hear about this very event we're at? We're at the symphony, we're at the fundraiser, we're at the networking event. How'd you hear about this thing? Oh, my buddy so-and-so Pete. Oh, cool. Why did you want to come here? That next question. Why did you want to come? Oh, I know the director. Oh, my friends in the downline. Oh, I want to come as this. How did you hear about it? Why did you want to come? That why did you want to come is often a jumping point into asking what they do, right? Oh, how'd you hear about it? Why did you want to come? Oh, that's interesting. What do you do? Oh, well, I'm in this area. I'm in that area. Oh, okay, cool. That is the easiest chit chat way to get into a conversation. How'd you hear about it? Why did you want to come? What do you do? Simple 3 steps, right? So that's always easy for me. Always easy for me. But then I don't like to spend too much time chit-chatting from there. That's as much as I'm gonna chit-chat. I don't wanna talk about the weather. I don't wanna talk about the punch. I don't wanna gossip. My next favorite question, this is my, like the big 4, I call it sometimes. How'd you hear about it? Why did you wanna come? And what do you do? Next big question I love to ask is, there's a lot of really successful people here. What do you think made you like the most successful in what you do? And it's complimentary, right? What do you think made you successful? When you think about your career or your life, what do you think are 3 things that made you successful? I'm just curious. I love asking people that. I kind of collect people's success stories. Like, what made you successful? And they're like, oh, well, gosh, I had mentors. My mom was like this. Oh, I practiced these habits. Oh, well, I worked really hard. And whatever they share, now the relationship really deepens. Oh, what made me successful? I had great parents. Oh, tell me about them. Tell me about them. I had great mentors. Huh? Who was the number 1 mentor? I guess I just had a lot of doors open for me and I had a lot of luck. Well, what was like the biggest door that opened for you? Whatever they say, when you say, hey, now notice the context here. There's a lot of successful people here. What do you think made you successful? Whatever comes out, just dig down another 2 layers. Well, my parents, tell me about them. Who's most, just like whatever that comes from there. My mentor. Oh, who is the most important mentor? What's the best value they ever taught you? If you get someone talking about what made them successful, have you ever noticed people like to talk about themselves? I'm sure you all read Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. His whole thing is smile at other people and ask them about themselves. And use their name. I think that was the big 3 things, right? So simple, right? Smile, ask them to talk, and use their name a lot. I mean, listen, guys, it doesn't have to be that hard. But I promise you, if you go in weaponized with this information, comment, use the context. How'd you hear about it? Why did you want to come here? What do you do? And lots of successful people here, what made you successful? Do that with 1 person. Then when that natural break in the conversation comes, guess what they're probably gonna do after you've asked those types of questions? They'll ask you the same. Or you share, like they share, I was successful because of these things. Then you get to share what made you successful. Oh, I totally get that. For me, it was just like this. But they'll ask. Most people will ask. I'd say 80% of them will ask back. Oh, well, what do you do? What made you successful? And now you started the conversation in recognition that you're both successful, that everything's good. Now, I know some people are gonna comment down below, well, what if the person I'm talking to isn't successful? And they're like, well, I'm not successful. And be like, oh, well, what's been the biggest obstacle you faced so far? That's it. What's been the biggest obstacle you faced so far? When you find that out, you start learning about the person and seeing where you can add value. And I also know some of you have the self-perception problem where you don't have the confidence yet. So you're like, well, when they say, well, what made you successful? And you're like, well, I'm bankrupt. I'm living on my friends' couches. And if you think I'm making fun of you, I'm not. That was my real story. So I was still out there networking. I was bankrupt. I was literally living, my friends wouldn't even give me the dignity of their couch. They gave me a half-inflated airbed on the side of the little nook between the TV and the wall. At that point, they're like, our couch is too valuable for you, Burchard. So it's a true story. I was networking even then. And I remember when some person saying to me something similar, it's like, oh, well, you must be successful to be in this room. And I said, you know what? I feel like I'm successful because I'm a grateful person. And I just want to add value to people.
canción que dice, ¿estos son Reebok o son Nike? Sí, sí.
Pero, ¿cómo se llama? ¿Cómo se llama?
¿Son Reebok o son Nike? A ver, comprárseme, que me gusta mucho la canción. Estamos pegados a la canción. Estamos pegados a la canción. Estamos pegados a la canción. Esa misma, ven, esa misma es.
So go on and some more, baby. Baby, tonight's like fuego. We might feel the dinero. We might kill it, come on, baby.
Luis, and it's sensational! 2-0 Brazil! Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Good afternoon, guys. How's it going today? Have we been able to lift one person up? Or, at the very least, have we been able to lift ourselves up by using our powerful thoughts? And again, I am reminding you of your power to believe that you can do this. That you, right now, wherever you are, can take control of your thoughts. So you may be going through a difficult day. You may be in a challenging moment right now. Go back at it again. As I've said before, it's determination. It's that spirit of going back and learning. What could I have done differently? And it all connects to our thoughts. And then our thoughts are represented by the symbols of our words. So it's not over yet. Go back at it and try to lift someone up. If not, if you're not with people today, lift yourself up. Remind yourself of how powerful you are. And you're in charge. You're in control. Have a great afternoon, everyone.
People think I have knowledge. No, my head is empty. That's why to make it look little substantial, I have a turban. It's totally empty always, but I have clarity. Clarity means what? You see things the way they are. Knowledge means what? You have fixed information about everything. If things have changed, you will not see it the way it is. That's as good as being blind. See, people think owls are blind. It's not true. Their vision is far more sensitive than yours. But because of sunlight, they're blinded because it's too much. When light goes down, he sees very clearly. Not because he's blind, because his eyes are super sensitive. It's important that you bring clarity to your life, not knowledge. Because knowledge is conclusions that you gather. Knowledge is okay when you're trying to do something physical, material in the world, but not with life.
Need motivation?
Watch a Top 10 on Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Sadhguru, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
Is it true what you thought was absolute at the age of 12, today is not true? Yes or no? Are you sure that whatever you think is this is it right now, will be this is it in another 3 years' time?
Of course not.
You know that, so you know you're wrong. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you know anyway you're wrong, so why assert the wrong things? Well, right now we are wrong, at least let's manage with little more conscious. If you know you're wrong, you will walk carefully, isn't it? Hello? But you think you're absolutely correct, then you will do stupid things and you blunder around the world. If you know you're not seeing properly, will you walk carefully or no? If I ask you to walk through a dark room, suppose we turn off all the lights and close it down, everything, pitch dark, if I ask you to walk, suddenly will you become super alert and conscious as to how you walk? But when the lights are on, You're just going unconsciously bumping into everybody. So if you learn to walk every moment like there are no lights and you're looking at everything absolutely carefully, then what you see clearly, you go through it. What you don't see clearly, you hesitate. Some places you take a little bit of chance. But if you are just confident, you will blunder through life, we don't know where you will get in and what you will get trapped into. Most people are trapped into their professions, their family situations, their social situations in such a way, they all became like this. Yes, already I'm seeing, not just older people, youth have become like this. What will happen to me at the end of my life? What will happen to me at the end of my life? I'm already revealed the secret, you will die. But Sadhguru, if this happens, what to do? If that happens, what to do? All those things will happen. It's not that everything will happen in your life the way you like it. Things will happen in the way you don't like it. It once happened, Shankaran Pillai got fired from his job simply because he asked a question, smoking or non-smoking? How can you get fired for asking such a simple question? Smoking or non-smoking, he asked, and he got fired. Because what he was supposed to ask was cremation or burial. So, many times what you do, thinking I'm right, may be irrelevant to the situation in which you exist. So the most important aspect of your life is you're relevant, not right. You're just relevant. To the existing situation, you're relevant. I am right, I am right, I am right. This is confidence. You being right, nobody cares. All the idiots who think they're right, nobody wants to listen to them, nobody wants to be around them, isn't it? People who always think, I'm right, you want to be around them? No, the important thing is you're relevant to the situation in which you exist. If you have to bring relevance into your life, you must extinguish your confidence and bring clarity.
Rule number 2, be a full-fledged human.
You should not be a motivated person. Generally, when we say somebody is motivated, it means they have an agenda of their own. Life has no agenda. It's for you to be a full-fledged life. A grasshopper is trying to be a full-fledged grasshopper, earthworm is trying to be a full-fledged earthworm, a bird is trying to be a full-fledged bird, a tree is trying to be a full-fledged tree. A human being should strive to become a full-fledged human being. This is all our business is. But each one of us start creating our own agendas and doing all kinds of things. No, you're just a piece of life, don't take yourself too seriously. Because before you and me, countless number of people have come and gone. Yes or no? Where are they? All those people. You think they were all idiots? They were all idiots and they died, is it? No, they were also like you, maybe they were also officers, maybe they were kings more than you, all kinds of things, all topsoil now. This will also become topsoil. Just a little bit of time. Life is a bit of a sparkle. How old is your son, sir? 25. So 27 years ago, where was he, sir? So if somebody is not here, we say they're dead, isn't it? 27 years ago, he was dead. We will give him 100 years, sir. 80 years later, he will be again dead. Yes or no? Yes. So, 27 years ago, how long was he dead, sir? Huh? Long time. So, 85 years later or 80 years later, how long will he be dead, sir? Very long time. So all of us will be dead for a very long time. We're alive just for a brief amount of time. Yes, very brief amount of time. We will be dead for a very long time. I want you to look at it in this perspective. How long will you be dead? You can't imagine. So let us say 10,000 years we are dead, or 100,000 years we are dead, or 1,000,000 years we are dead, all right? How long are you alive compared to that? Very, very brief. What you call as life is a brief sparkle. The only thing that you have to do is rise and sparkle as a full-fledged life. When something is needed around us, we will do that naturally, because when you're doing wonderfully well, you will do what is needed, isn't it? When you're miserable, you will be motivated. Yes. Tell me, when you're very happy, have you looked at yourself? How nice and wonderful you are, you're willing to do anything for anybody, bend backwards if necessary, yes or no? When you're little frustrated, whoa, how difficult it is. So don't teach your children to become motivated about something. These are all nonsense that's coming from the West, all those trashy self-help books. Motivate yourself, build confidence, believe in yourself. You believed in God and destroyed so much of this world. Now you believe in yourself, what will you do?
Rule number 3, learn to be alone.
When
Good evening, guys. How did it go today? Think about your day. Were you able to have at least one victory, one win, where you lifted someone else up? Or if not someone else, yourself? Well, I want to share a personal story with you because, as we've said before, this stuff is really hard. It's really hard to apply even one positive thought energy like lifting people up. And so I want to share my story with you. And this is an example of how hard it is and how we have to work on it every single day. I begin every day by starting off and listening to Les Brown's speech at the Georgia Dome as I'm cooking my breakfast. Because I know and I can feel in my mind, there's thoughts that are trying to come back and attack me and show the negative side of things, the fearful side of what might happen. But when I listen to Les's powerful voice, it reminds me, it lifts me up. And so do what you have to do. Listen to whatever you have to do to lift you up. Have a great evening, everyone.
A lot of people who watched me and the other teachers in the movie The Secret, I think, simplified the law of attraction into thinking that all you've got to do is think about making more money, believe that you can achieve earning more money, and then more money is going to be attracted to you somehow through some mysterious process, almost as if, you know, thinking and believing is the only thing that's needed in order to make the money that you want to make. And I think a lot of people were set off on the wrong path to making the law of attraction work for them. And so let me give you a couple of things on how you can exponentially attract more money through understanding a little bit more about energy, a little bit more about the process of manifestation.
Need motivation?
Watch a Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because in my first business, I was making $300 a month. I quit on my business partner, and the thing that saved me was studying the stories of super successful entrepreneurs. So I hope that this story today helps give you the motivation you need, because I still need it too myself.
So today, let's learn from one of the best, John Assaraf, and my take on his top 10 rules of success. Enjoy.
If you're ready, when we go to the fundamental fact that everything is energy, you are energy, the computer or cell phone you're watching me on is made up of tiny little bits of photons, vibrating packets of energy. We call that quanta. But if it was just enough to, to think and believe, that money's going to be attracted to you, everybody would be rich, wouldn't they? They'd have beautiful houses, nice cars, they go on vacations everywhere, and there would be a financial abundance windfall for everybody. But why do most people who believe in the law of attraction not end up being rich financially? And the answer is it's a little bit more complex than the surface of what was covered in the movie. So let me give you a couple of things to think about and do. When we're dealing with money, you've got to remember, yes, money is just an idea. We used coins and chocolates and seashells and livestock, and we bartered and traded, one thing for another, like bread for teeth cleaning, or working on a horse's hooves, for something that somebody else needed in a small village or town. So going back in time to the beginning, of when we even came up with this concept of money, money was created as a means of exchange between people. Money wasn't ever thought of as something that just popped into your lap or into your life just because you were meditating or visualizing, or hoping and praying and wishing that you had more money. It's a means of exchange. However, there are some things to focus on. If money is energy, and let's call that the spiritual side of energy, and we know that there is more than enough money for everybody. There's signs of money in cash and coins and golds and buildings and real estate, in products and services that represent money. We know there's more than enough of it. The key to getting the law of attraction into motion is thinking of it slightly differently. And instead of thinking of the law of attraction as something that, is attracted to you like a magnet, think of it as the law of resonance, something that when you become in resonance with, then there is more than enough. And so the question is, how do I become in resonance with more money? So first and foremost, I want to teach you a model called SEMP, S-E-M-P, and it stands for spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. And since you're into the law of attraction, you probably believe that everything is energy and that there is a spiritual side to your being and a governance of this incredible, universe and planets, etc. So let's assume that the spiritual intelligence is within you and within everybody else and in all things and all places at all times. It's omnipotent and omnipresent, right? And as I say this, my chimes are dinging. Maybe that's because that's the truth. Well, what if that's the beginning of the law of attraction? Get in resonance with abundance. Get in resonance with the genius part of yourself. Get in resonance with the people, the tools, the resources that are here right now that will help you achieve more income, more wealth. Part one. Part two is the E part of SEMP, emotions. What if you got emotionally connected to achieving the financial goals that you want to have? What if you picked a financial goal that you wanted to achieve and then you started to feel as if that was already happening? Is it possible that by getting emotionally connected to that money, to that wealth, to that income, you're increasing the amplitude of the vibration of you, your 100 trillion cells governed by your brain, which we'll get to in a minute? And is it possible that if you have a financial goal and you see yourself in your mind's eye and you feel yourself achieving that financial goal, that you can become in harmony, in resonance with that income, that goal? Is it possible? Just think for just a moment. I'll wrap it all up in about 3 or 4 minutes. So the S is the abundance, the E is the emotion. Now let's get into mindset, your mental faculties. Earlier we mentioned, think and believe. But what happens if you believe that it's possible, but you also believe that maybe you're too young or too old, or maybe you believe you don't have the knowledge or the skills, or maybe you believe that, it's easy for other people, but not for you, or maybe you believe you don't have the education, or maybe you believe that you don't deserve it, or maybe you believe that it's not the right timing. If you have a positive desire, goal, or vision, and you have disempowering, limiting beliefs, or a self-image that doesn't really believe that you deserve it, what may be happening is that you are not in coherence or in harmony in your mind and in your heart. And that means that even though you may be sending out these signals, okay, for the abundance, the money, the income, the wealth that you want, if either at the neurological level, the heart level, or the gut level, you don't really believe, for whatever reason, that you can achieve that goal or have that goal or have that lifestyle, then you are creating a chaotic vibration between your physical body, your emotions, your mindset, and in this field of intelligence, shall we call it. So far we've talked about spiritual, emotional, mental, and I've only scratched the surface of this, but now let's talk about the physical side of it. Do you remember earlier I suggested that we developed money as a means of exchange between people, companies, governments, etc.? Well, if you want to have more money, the question now becomes, are you doing the right things in the right order, in the physical world, to be able to create this circle, this exchange mechanism where you are providing your products, your knowledge, your services to others in exchange for money? You see, when people aren't in total resonance, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, chances are that the law of attraction will not work for them. And since we are spiritual beings having a human experience and we have emotions and we are able to control our mental models and our mindset, we can control the fears that we have of failure or being disappointed or embarrassed or shamed or ridiculed, because those are the things that hold us back from achieving our financial goals and life goals. The more you learn how to get in coherence, in harmony, the easier making more money becomes. And most people are never taught this advanced model called SEMP so that they can earn more, have more, live more, give more, be more. And they keep thinking that the law of attraction is think, believe, and you'll achieve. That's baloney. There are a variety of advanced methodologies that you can learn to get into total harmony, total coherence with earning 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times more income, having the wealth that allow you to have the financial freedom, the choice freedom to pursue the things that you really want to pursue in your life.
Rule number 2, find leads.
Hey, do you
And back to legs crossed, back straight, eyes closed. Feeling the power of you regaining control of your breathing. No matter how fast your breathing became, your heart started pumping faster. Started automatically going faster. Right now, we get to take control of our breathing. To keep our back straight, our eyes closed, and our legs crossed. The same way, we get to take control of our thoughts, our mind, at any time, which will then control our bodies and our feelings directly. That's how powerful you are. But you have to believe 100% in this power, this infinitely intelligent being within you and all of us. You gotta believe with all your heart and soul that you can do something. If you don't believe in yourself, nothing else or nobody else will. We're all looking to you. We're all looking to each other to find out the truth of what is already in us. We hold the key, each and every one of us. It all starts with our power to believe 100% in who we really are. That's the greatest determination you can make. 100% believing in you, no matter what, no matter how many mistakes, how many so-called failures, losses, pain, suffering you've experienced. You get to learn from all of it. You get to realize the truth. That there is no such thing as failure. There is only fuel from our mistakes and our losses, which gets transformed, gets used to create our determination.